Exactly.
Okay.
It's much bigger than any today.
No, I should do it. No, so.
Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, members, Toastmasters, and everyone on Zoom. Welcome. Welcome to our 191st meeting of ToastEd. This evening's theme is turning points, and there are going to be several speeches, so we're really looking forward to a fun evening. For those on Zoom, joining us on Zoom, welcome. And just please indicate if you're a member or a guest. We all members, you've all named yourself, so that's all good. And then you will see on your table there are some woo-woo notes. So if someone's given a speech, please write a little note to that person, a few kind words of encouragement. It just helps the person also to gain a bit more confidence, and we appreciate those notes. For housekeeping, the bathrooms are straight down the passage and then to the left. And for those on Zoom, please remain muted unless you're speaking. And what else? And then clapping. So those on Zoom, we use jazz hands to clap. And in the room, of course, we can clap to our heart's desires. Before I hand over to our president, I would just like to read our Toastmasters Club promise. ToastEd Toastmaster Club promises to provide a positive and supportive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. I wish you an exciting and informative evening, and now welcome our President, Justine.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to everyone in person and everybody online. It's nice to see you all. And we will greet everyone who is visiting as a guest this evening in the room, and I will greet everyone online shortly. Before I do that, I would like to celebrate some of our members who celebrated birthdays already in the month. Oh gosh, we're in June. So in the month of May, we had some birthdays. Our newest member as of tonight will be inducted. Maria, happy birthday for the 13th of May. And Verity and Eugene are two superstars, both share their birthdays on the 16th of May. So happy birthday, Verity and Eugene. Okay, I'm going to make my rounds to say hi to everybody. But I'm just going to say hi to everybody online first, and then I will ask Talisha to pass me the phone, just so everyone online can get to see our beautiful people in the room. I'm going to start with, I see Michaela's online. Hi, Michaela, Yolanda, Rochelle, Libby, and ToastEd Mobile, whoever that is. And then we have a special guest speaker tonight. Please, is it Gola? Is that how I pronounce your name?
Close enough, yes. Hola.
Close enough. Okay, thanks. Welcome. It's so lovely to have you here. She's a speaker from Cape Town Toastmasters, and she is going to be giving us a speech this evening to help her club get some points for the end of the Toastmasters year. So it's lovely to have you here with us tonight. Thank you, and we look forward to hearing your speech. And then I don't see anybody else guest-wise online. I'm just going to, you'll see everybody in the room. I'm just going to mute here.
Sorry. Let me just thank you. Oh wow, but it's the wrong way around. Okay. Oh gosh. Oh. There we go. It's working. Sorry guys. Are you fine? There we go. So just 2 people. Okay, and how do I unmute myself? Or am I unmute? Okay. Okay, fabulous. Let me show you all online who's here in the room. We have Eugene and Anna. She's so busy. What a great little student. Gabrielle, Amelia, Talisha, Maria, and Roger. And Faye, and Philip. And here we have Marika. Hi. We saw you online last time.
Yes.
And now we get to see you in person.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
amazing.
Yeah, lovely to see you. What made you come back?
Well, because I was meant to be in person
Yes.
last time, and then because of the weather, I was stuck online. And so I want to get a feel for the group
In
properly,
person, yeah.
in person.
Yeah, it's a much different feel, isn't it?
Yeah,
Well,
ab-
we'll see
of
by
course,
the end of the
you know,
evening.
I
You'll
mean,
tell us.
Both are good learning.
Yeah.
Right. So it's great that you've got a hybrid because you
Yeah.
have that opportunity for people to learn
Mhm.
online
Mm.
speaking
Mm.
as well as in person.
Yeah, exactly. Okay,
Look forward
great.
to it.
Well,
Thank
enjoy
you.
the evening with us. And Tamar was also a guest last time. Welcome back.
Thank you.
You came back. We didn't scare you away.
Oh, yes.
Not yet, exactly. And Tamar, what has brought you back? What
Yeah.
made you decide to come back?
Still keen to learn.
Yeah. Okay, amazing. Well, enjoy the evening and good luck for table topics.
Thank you.
And then we have Quentin, and we've also got Fulu, who was a guest last time, and it's now a member as of tonight. And we have Kwame. We've got Kwame on this side of the screen this time. Okay, thank you so much, Alicia.
I forgot to also show the person who's speaking.
Oh, hello.
It would be terrible if I forgot someone. I haven't forgot anyone. No, don't think so. I'm going to ask our Vice President of Membership to please come up because we've got 2 new members that have recently joined our club, and we have a little ceremony to welcome them into our club. So thank you, Gabrielle.
May I call Ulu you up and Maria? Come. It's called Inception, or no, not Inception. How does induction? I tell you English. And we call it like a little baptism. Here, good. Now, I would like to read to you a little CV about our new members, and you all know that then the proper proof comes with the icebreaker. Born and raised in Cape Town, Maria is the youngest of 3 daughters of 2 Dutch and Afrikaans parents. Growing up, she was deeply involved in sports. However, as a teenager, she was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, which significantly changed the trajectory of her life, including the direction of her career. She studied and worked as a graphic designer, which included 7 years living in the UK before leaving employment to explore the opportunity to do something on her own. She went on to run a small healthy treats business that brought together her interest in health, creativity, and business. She now works as head of delivery for a health-focused catering company overseeing the company's mobile app division. That's all very important. Outside, my son would be the right person. Outside of work, Maria is an avid Table Mountain hiker and also enjoys strength training, yoga, and cold Atlantic ocean dips. Fully agree. A balanced lifestyle plays an important role in supporting her health and well-being. She loves pursuing personal growth, and joining Toastmasters feels like a natural step in strengthening confidence, particularly within a professional context where she hopes it will have the most impact. So that is a beautiful CV. And next one is Fulu. You get this, I get here. I must just tell you, I'm always so proud which people are connecting magnetically to us and want to be part of our group. And that is enriching us, because everybody is so enriching that our committee gets so excited and so grateful. So let me say that in between as well. Fulu's academic journey started at the University of Pretoria, where he studied accounting sciences before heading east to Rhodes University in Grahamstown to complete his postgraduate diploma in accounting. That combination set the foundation for what would become a seriously impressive career. Fulu is a qualified chartered accountant by profession. His career reads like the tour of South Africa's most respected institutions. He began his career at Sanlam, where he completed his articles before moving to PwC. Can you please tell me what PwC is? Waterwise Hire. Okay. And subsequently to the Reserve Bank of South Africa, before landing at Nedbank CIP, where he currently serves as an associate principal in property finance. But Fulu isn't just about spreadsheets and numbers. He is an entrepreneur at heart, always exploring the next idea, whether that's building AI-powered tools or figuring out how technology can make finance more accessible. Away from work, Fulu is driven by faith and very active at church. He loves football and basketball and has a passion for turning complex ideas into words people can genuinely connect with. Oh, my man. Absolutely fantastic. So at this little baptism, I just have to ask you a few questions, and don't be worried. Only when we speak to you personally and ask you something to help in the committee, then you can be bored. But otherwise, just enjoy your start. Being a Toastmaster means more than simply making a commitment to self-development. Everyone who joins Toastmasters Club is making a commitment to the club, to its members, and to the organization as a whole. Please indicate your commitment by saying, I do, and only at the end. Otherwise, it's really like a wedding story. So you will attend club meetings regularly. And I hope you will provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations. I hope you will help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow. I hope you willingly serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so. To treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy. To bring guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers. And if you think you can do all those things, you just say, I do. Good, accepted. And then I will ask you, the members of ToastEd, to pledge support to these new members in their quest for self-development, to provide them with positive, helpful evaluations, to maintain a friendly, supportive atmosphere, to give them opportunities to help others, and to make their Toastmasters membership a rewarding and fulfilling experience. And if so, please say, I will. Okay. So now you please all stand up and we welcome our new members. Okay. You may relax and sit. And Justine.
Gabrielle. Gabrielle sure does know how to make a ceremony with celebrating. As Gabrielle mentioned, we have all of our really special members, new and older, not in age, just older and being here for a longer period of time. And to make our Toastmasters, what did you
I
forget?
forgot to mention the mentors.
Oh.
Okay, do that privately.
Okay. To make our amazing club run the way that it runs, and to help facilitate and navigate these meetings in the background, there is something called the EXCO, which is the Executive Committee. And every year, new Toastmasters come in and bring in their fresh, creative new ideas and help the current EXCO or take over from the current EXCO. There are some roles. Some of us have been on the EXCO for many years, and it's time that we start stepping back a little bit and getting some new blood into this beautiful Toasted community. And we are always going to be there to hold hands, but it's now time for other members to stand up and take charge. And what that looks like is there are, how many? 2, 4, 5, 6. 2, 4, 6. 6 roles on the EXCO. I'm just going to, for time's sake, just going to go through what they are. If any of them speak to you, please will you come and let us know. We are already chatting to some people. There's some people we would like to chat to. And to just get your input on the EXCO to help run these meetings and make them the amazing success that they are. The first one is the secretary. And the secretary, it's in the name, you're there, you're holding space and reminding us of things that we may forget, taking minutes in the EXCO meetings, and just supporting the president and all of the other members in the EXCO. We have the treasurer, also in the name, it's the finance guy, and that is just ensuring that payments are coming in for meetings, when it's time to renew, getting all the invoices out and making sure that everyone pays their 6 months or yearly dues. And then there's the VPPR, which I think has already been filled, but that is just about keeping our social media presence up and running so that people can see us, we've got exposure online, and creating the flyers for the meetings. And then we're sending those out. The other side of the VPPR is to keep track of the registration form. So that registration form that you get sent, that keeping track of who's coming and telling the table topics master who is signing up for table topics, that sort of thing. And then we have VPM, so that's the Vice President of Membership. So that's what Gabrielle has been doing for these past many years, and she's done an amazing job, as you can see today, with 2 brand new members joining our club. But that is just keeping in touch with guests, checking if they're coming, asking what they enjoyed, seeing if they'd like to become a member, and just showing face on the evening and being that warm, welcoming person that she is. And if that speaks to you, please let us know. Then we have the Vice President of Education, and that's what Michaela has been doing the last year. And that's facilitating everyone in Toastmasters success and getting them to stand up, to speak, and to sign up for roles for each of the meetings, and just helping navigate pathways, because that can be sometimes a little bit daunting. So helping, basically holding hands with everybody to ensure that they reach their goals that they've set for themselves. And then there's Sergeant of Arms, which Anna has been doing. Sorry, Eugene, I didn't even acknowledge you for VPER, but Eugene's been doing that for us and he's been amazing. And then Anna has been our SAA, which is the person that starts the meeting, reconvenes the meeting, and makes sure that the meeting is set up for all of you to arrive to. Has the name tags ready, has all the things that need to be done sorted. And then, of course, there's the president's role, which is basically the CEO, just the chief encouragement officer, and it's just there to make sure that everyone is doing what they need to be doing in the expo and holding space for them, and then doing the little intros in the meeting and the little goodbyes at the end of the meeting. So, that's a very purposeful so. Please, we are really asking for anyone who is in our club to sign up on the expo, or we'll just come knocking at your door, because we are really needing some new faces, and it's fun. We built a really beautiful relationship with everyone on the expo. We like family and a team, and I think for those that are planning to leave now are sad about it, because it is something that is quite special to all of us. So with big arms, we want to welcome you in. So please, will you consider it? And that's my plea done. And then I would like you all to please raise your glasses, everybody online, to unmute yourselves. And we're going to raise a toast to South Africa and all her speakers. To South Africa and all her speakers. To all of our speakers, some of our new members are taking on roles for the very first time. All the best to you. Thank you for standing up and taking on the roles. To our speakers and our evaluators, good luck. You are all going to be amazing. And tonight, it's going to be a little bit different for all of us in the room, because our fabulous Toastmaster is our lovely Libby, and she is going to be online. I am going to spotlight you, Libby, so that everybody can see your beautiful face. And welcome, Libby.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you, Justine. I am delighted to be the Toastmaster this evening. I've been hiding behind the screen in Pietermaritzburg thinking that I can't do this role, and I was very excited when I was given permission that you would change the normal procedure and let me do it. So I'm basically the MC for the new people that are here, and I will try and keep to my time and be organized. I love this theme that we have tonight, a turning point. I was so excited about preparing this that I even added it to my LinkedIn post. So thank you for choosing this. And I've just written a few reflections as to what a turning point means to me. And I think that most of these things that I've written down will be relevant to everybody in the room. So a turning point is more than simply a change. It's a moment when a decision, an event, a realization, or an experience alters the direction of a person's life, of our thinking, of our relationships, of our future. A simple definition is that it's a moment when significant change occurs, leading to a new direction or outcome. So we can think in terms of our own lives as significant change, be it moving to a new town or a new country, leaving a job, a relationship ending, some of those really big things that have been turning points in our lives. But then when I reflected, I thought about the little turning points that show up in our lives, and it can be on a daily basis. It can be that person at work that just gets you and brings you a cup of tea, or pats your back when you're having a hard day. It can be music, it can be walking in nature. So every single day, when we use a turning point as a moment to pause and reflect and choose a response that is more aligned with our values, with our purpose, and ultimately with the person that we want to become. So I decided to phone Verity and ask her how ToastEd came, I can't talk now, how ToastEd came to being. And for those of you that don't know, Verity started the club with Gabrielle and I think Paul. I don't know some of those early members, but she told me that in 2016, she was involved in doing a TED Talk. And there were 3 people that were also involved with TED Talks. And they kept asking Toastmasters to support them in their speaking journey on TEDx. And they came up with let's try and marry the two. So that was a big turning point, she said. And that's where ToastEd came about. And she said it went along for a little while, but there was a second turning point where it didn't work. And Verity said she actually stepped back for a while. And then it was, I think she said in 2019 that she decided to join the club again. And she said she couldn't let it go. She said that all the reasons why they started the club, she loved the club and she really wanted to come in and support all the other EXCO members that were here to make it what it was meant to be. And look where we all are today. We've got the world champion and this amazing group that wins all the awards and is just growing and growing. So welcome to everybody. And for those that are doing a speech tonight, this is a big turning point for you. And for the rest of us, we can tell you that after tonight, it just gets better and better. So just enjoy your speech and be yourself. And as Verity says, it's your life force that is the most important part of your speech. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce our role players for tonight. And the first role player that we have is Maria van Rooyen, who's our new lady. Maria is the timekeeper. So I'd like to ask Maria to come up and describe her role to us, please.
Greetings, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As timer, I'll time the table topic speakers, formal speeches, and the evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red cards, which denote specific times remaining. Table topic speakers should limit their remarks to no more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I'll raise the green card. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, I'll raise the yellow card. At 2 minutes, I'll raise the red card. Those giving speeches should limit their remarks to their specific speech times. Icebreaker speeches should be 4 to 6 minutes in length. At 4 minutes, I'll raise the green card. At 5 minutes, I'll raise the yellow card. At 6 minutes, I'll raise the red card. Most other speeches should be 5 to 7 minutes in length. At 5 minutes, I'll raise the green card. At 6 minutes, I'll raise the yellow card. At 7 minutes, I'll raise the red card. The individual evaluations should be between 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I'll raise the green card. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I'll raise the yellow card. At 3 minutes, I'll raise the red card. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Maria, and well done for taking up a role your very first night that you've been inducted. That's very brave. Our second role player is our counter, and this is the lovely Holande.
Greetings, Madam Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. The purpose of the counter is to note words and sounds that are used as a crutch or pause filler by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, and you know. I will also listen for filler sounds, including and I will also note when a speaker repeats a word and or phrase, such as I, or this means. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Holande. Our next role player is the grammarian, and this is Faith. Please, would you come up and describe your role, Faith?
Just hold it. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Good evening, Madam Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and those that are joining us online. In the spirit of our theme for tonight, Turning Points, I've chosen a word that reflects the strength we often need when life shifts direction. Our word for the day is resilient. Resilient means able to bounce back from challenges, adapt to change, and keep moving forward with strength and confidence. Turning points are rarely comfortable. They stretch us, challenge us, and sometimes redirect us completely. What allows us to grow through those moments is our resilience. An example that can be used in a sentence is our club thrives because of resilient members who embrace challenges as opportunities to grow. I encourage you to kindly use the word resilience in your speeches and evaluation. Thank you.
Thank you, Faith. Tonight is a wonderful evening because we have got 4 speakers. 4 speakers with 4 evaluators. That is very exciting. We don't often have as many as that. So it is my absolute pleasure to invite our first evaluator, Michaela Geldorf, who is going to be evaluating Amelia. And please, will you talk about the points about the next speech, Michaela?
Thank you so much, Livy. And it's very strange to be on this side, but it's great to get a different world. And I have the great pleasure of evaluating Amelia's speech today. She is at a turning point herself. She is coming close to the end of level 1. She's on speech 3, and her speech is called My Voice, My Story, Speak with Color. She's asked me to focus on her voice range, including tone, volume, pace, pauses, expression, as well as her body language, how she uses the stage, her posture, gestures, eye contact. I reminded her that I'm in front and not behind her because that might be really weird this time. So I was meant to be in person. So Amelia, thank you for rising up to the challenge. Amelia, my voice, my story, speak with color. Good luck.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Good evening to our online guests, and good evening to our dear valued special guests that have come today. So for me, my speech is entitled My Voice, My Story, and My Resilience. So looking at my story, I'll tell you a story that happened just last Sunday when I went to church. I always go to church, and just as we begin the church service, obviously you start with the praise and worship. And just as the team was actually in motion, they were singing. It was a house filled with loud music, a house filled with spirituality inside. And just in that moment, I had the song that I was rehearsing. I had been rehearsing the song throughout the whole week. It just came in as a song that really touched me, and within me, I could feel it even within my stomach. So as I was listening to them, the melody just came through and they started, open the floodgates of heaven, let it rain. Let it rain. And I paused. My heart was pounding, deep pounding. And looking around, I just looked at everyone thinking, were they listening to my voice? Were they really listening to the sound that came through? In that moment, I felt the shiver within me. And I was like, oh my God, I hope these people were not distracted by my voice. And then just in that moment, the speaker said, greet anyone within
your left hand, your right hand, and say, "How are you?" and introduce yourself. And just as we were introducing ourselves, the gentleman next to me said, "Hi, you've got a lovely voice." My ear was just quiet on the left side, but on the right-hand side, I could hear your melodious voice coming through. That felt so real, and within my heart, I felt it like, wow, that was so special. It's so good to get a compliment from someone when you least expect it. So with that, it gave me a point where I could understand that with anything you say, you just have to go for it. Not thinking about it, not even flinching, not even thinking about the people around you, but just saying whatever is in your heart so that people around you can also get that feeling that you're also getting. So with that, me as Emilia, I also have the task of having a little boy who's 9 years old. He's now in grade 3. And with that also comes the duty of being a mother. And being a mother, you just think that, well, it's just dressing up the boy, going to school, and that's it. But with the teachers of today, it's a different story altogether. They also want you to be involved in their story. So this week came, and then the teacher was like, the students have to do an oral, and in that oral, they have to do a science project in which they express whatever project that they have to everyone in the class. My son was exhilarated. He was so happy that, yes, finally I can be able to speak and be able to show my friends and my teacher about the project that I have. It took a lot of hard work. It took a lot of mess in the house because everything was upside down. You could see that we had flour right there, we had Mentos right there, we had Coca-Cola right there. And in all this mess, it was the hard work that was paying off. The day of reckoning came, just the day before the speech was supposed to be said. We actually said to our son, Daddy's sitting there, Mommy's sitting there, and Auntie's sitting there. You have to rehearse your project to us so that we understand what you're going to do. Here comes my little boy, confident, was actually wearing a white coat, professor in the making. He went there, took his iPad, and then projected the project that he was going to say. For me, I was so exhilarated. I was so happy that look at this handsome boy that I've made, the handsome boy that is going to produce a speech that will make everyone rumble, everyone clap hands, and everyone make a lot of loud noise clapping for him. When we got there, here he was. Good evening, Miss Illman, my friends. I'm going to recite my speech about my project. That came as a loud disappointment in my heart. I actually had this in mind. When I was in grade 1, that was 2003, I actually had this girl that was so brilliant. The teacher that we had was called Mr. Tarasenga. And Mr. Tarasenga was the music teacher, poet, and everything. And he would ensure that he would coach everyone. So getting a compliment from him was very nice and exhilarating. So here she comes and says in the room, everyone, keep quiet. I want you to picture this. You are in a desert, no water to drink, no trees in sight, just the scorching sun. Indeed, scorching. And you could see Mr. Tarasenga right at the back of the room smiling, his eyes glaring wide, and you could feel, wow, that's it. I want to be like her. I want to be like her in my speeches. That's exactly what I thought, that this son that I'm bringing would definitely be like this little girl I had imagined. But alas, it was not the idea. Growing up, I have been in these spaces trying to navigate all the work. For me, I believe that resilience comes with hard work, putting a lot of pressure, work and work and work and work. But that is not the point at all. The point is how you produce yourself in a room, how you present yourself in a room, the way that people look at you, the way that people respect you because of the voice that you're projecting. So it's not only about working hard, it's also how you produce yourself, how your work, how your voice speaks to everyone in the room. And that's the reason why I became a member of Toastmasters. I want that confidence. I want that voice so that I can be able to speak my voice, everyone can hear. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Amelia. Thank you. That was magnificent. Your power came through, your life force came through beautifully. It is now my honor to introduce Anna as the second evaluator, and Anna is going to be evaluating Talisha. Anna, could you come forward and talk about the points of Talisha's speech, please?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Good evening, fellow members and Toastmasters. This evening, I have the privilege to evaluate Talisha's speech. It's an interesting topic. She has chosen the topic Inside Out, Leading from Within. It's Talisha's first speech, Understanding Your Leadership Style, for her level 2 pathway, Dynamic Leadership. We look forward to hearing your speech, Talisha, and I'll be listening to some special words. I'll be looking out for your body language and the way you've constructed your speech. So welcome and good luck for your speech. Thank you.
Ever wondered what the purpose of leadership is? The most obvious answer that came to my mind, at least, was to unite a group of people that share a common goal. But what makes a good leader? Is it the ability to communicate well? Or is it the ability to listen well? Do you need to have a lot of followers? These are questions that I had to think about when I started my level 2 Toastmasters journey. And as the wheels were turning in my head, I thought to myself, what on earth was I thinking? Am I really a leader? Why did I even choose this pathway? Many of us here today share this common goal of being able to speak in public with confidence. And we're led by our amazing and inspiring leaders. Justine, our president, Gabrielle, our heart of ToastEd, and the rest of the dedicated committee members. In my opinion, these people are good leaders. Why? Because they're supportive and encouraging and help us all to get to our goal and create an environment of where we can all collaborate and grow into the best version of ourselves. My dad is a natural born leader in every sense of the word. People tend to gravitate toward him in the way that a swarm of bees moves to honey. To this day, my dad still walks the same air of confidence. And when he speaks, he really commands a room. He's also one of the greatest storytellers I've ever known. I can still remember when me and my brother were kids and my dad started telling a story. We would all go quiet and listen in anticipation, waiting for the magic to unfold. Now, having grown up with this very dominant energy, I never imagined that I would be a leader in that sense, in any way. I'm still a little bit weird
a little bit shy, and generally unsure and awkward. So naturally, I felt an intense anxiety when I started getting more responsibility at work, and I was told to lead projects and lead project teams. But I had to find a way to do it if I wanted to move forward and if I wanted to help people. After I closed my first project, I was a complete mess. I put so much pressure on myself to be a good project manager and to not make any mistakes. There were so many times I remember I couldn't even articulate what I wanted to get across because I was so nervous. Things got a bit easier as I started doing more projects, but I still had that fear of leading and making a mistake. Then at the beginning of this year, I read a book by Stephen Bartlett called The Diary of a CEO. And that's when I reached a turning point. For those of you that don't know Stephen Bartlett, he's a serial entrepreneur, most well known for his podcast, Diary of a CEO. At just 33 years old, he founded multiple successful companies, has written several books, and was named one of the most influential personalities on the internet. And although he was critiqued for the accuracy of the information in his book really changed my perspective on leadership and what it is. He divides the book into 4 different pillars. One is the self, which is about mastering your psychology, resilience, and values. 2 is the story, which is understanding the art of storytelling and persuasion. The third one is philosophy, which basically involves practical business strategies. And finally, the team, which is about culture, hiring and managing people. What was interesting to me is that the part of managing people came last in his pillars. What came first was the self, and that was what stuck. If I'm not able to take charge of my thoughts, emotions, and actions, how on earth am I supposed to guide and help other people? It's like that safety demonstration they show you when you get on a plane. People should first cover their face and mouth with their oxygen mask first, and then help others. This realization felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. I realized that I didn't need to become a carbon copy of my dad or the caricatures on social media. I didn't need an entourage, and I certainly didn't need to be flawless. My first step was self-mastery, and that meant accepting the fact that I am a little weird, I am different, and I will definitely make mistakes. Reflecting on leadership after reading that book, I came to an understanding that leadership is a journey, and it doesn't start with a megaphone or a title. It starts with a compass, with the quiet internal work of mastering our choices, embracing our uniqueness, and navigating our own fears. My journey is just starting, and I'm still very much a work in progress. But one day at a time, I make the choice to take one more step in the direction I want to go. So to anyone else here who's ever felt too quiet, too unsure, or just too different to stand in front of the room, put down the pressure to command. Pick up your compass and with courage, lead yourself from the inside out. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Talisha. Such an inspirational talk. And I have a suggestion. I think you need to invite your dad to one of the Toastmasters meetings so he can hear that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You're speaking beautifully. Thank you. Our next evaluator is Rochelle, who is online. And Rochelle is going to be evaluating. Now, I'm going to say this badly and feel embarrassed. Ola, am I saying that correctly? Rochelle, could you please introduce our third speaker, Ola?
Amazing. Thank you so much, Libby. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and valued guests. Welcome to Kola for joining our Toastmasters meeting. It's always nerve-wracking going to another Toastmasters, but we're all very supportive and a loving club, and we are so excited to hear your amazing speech. So without further ado, presenting her level 2, speech 1, titled The Easiest Way to Misunderstand. Please join me in giving a warm Toastmasters welcome to Tola.
Good evening, everyone. Can I just confirm if you can hear me? Okay, perfect. Thank you for allowing me to come, but let's get into it. So, have you ever explained something with all your chest, using all the language you know, but were met with a blank stare? Have you ever tried maybe explaining to your partner why you didn't like something that they did? But at the end of your monologue, the response that they gave you left you very confused, left you wondering what this conversation was actually about. Because when you consider what you've just said and their response, there's absolutely no way you guys are talking about the same thing. And that's the beauty of our communication as human beings. We express ourselves and our ideas in very different ways. And not only that, sometimes we receive information that is being communicated to us in ways that may be different to what the communicator intended. And I think that this sort of wiring is really the perfect recipe for misunderstandings. And sometimes the person trying to get their point across may be tempted to think, maybe if I just explain this a bit harder, a bit louder, a bit softer, just maybe again and again and again, eventually they'll get it. But the reality is that doesn't necessarily always work. So in an attempt to have better understandings, I realized that one of the first things that would be important is to understand my own communication style. So I learned that I am a supportive communicator. Now, this means that I am calm, I am steady, I am approachable, sincere, gentle. Apparently, I dislike change and can be indecisive. I'm also dependable and loyal and all, those amazing things which are fitting. And as much as I have often or sometimes viewed in being indecisive as a bit of a weakness, there are some great qualities that I appreciate about my communication style. I appreciate that because I'm a supportive listener, I'm a supportive communicator, that makes me a good listener. It makes me approachable, it makes me patient. And these qualities are qualities that I really appreciate as they allow me to build trust and relationships with people, as they mean that I am someone who is sincere, who is approachable, who is patient. And I think also this means that I'm also, or I believe that it makes me like a great team member, because you know that with me, your opinions will be heard and that you can count on me. So as much as there's the indecisiveness, I also do appreciate some of the good qualities of being a supportive communicator. And if you really think about it, every communication style has its pros and its cons. I think we can all relate to having encountered somebody whose style was so different to ours. And while those differences were good at giving us insight and giving an opportunity for us to learn and to grow, those differences can also create the perfect opportunity to misunderstand, be frustrated, and sometimes end up in conflict. I don't know if you've ever interacted with somebody and walked away thinking, but why can't you be more like me? Why can't you just hear that I'm right and you're wrong and just understand what I'm saying? And so, in the spirit of criticizing other communication styles, I'm going to share with you some beef that I have with some of the communication styles. So, number one would be the direct communicator. I mean, why are you so competitive? We're hanging out as friends, it's games night. We're playing 30 seconds. But at this point, your face is red. The room is tense. We can barely make a joke because you're taking this way too seriously. Ma'am, there is no prize at the end. We're playing. Relax. And also to the same direct communicator, if I come to you and I tell you my problem, I need you to read the room. Try to understand whether I am looking for a solution or just trying to vent. Because if I come to you trying to vent, and before I've finished my sentence, you give me a solution, we're going to fight. The next one on my beef list is the analytical communicator. Sometimes we don't have the facts. Sometimes we don't have stats or past information. Please try trusting your gut. It's there for a reason. So with all of this said, when I consider all of this and I consider the communication style, I realize that while it's important to understand your core communication style, it's also important to acknowledge the fact that you do have elements of the other communication styles within you, which I think is an excellent thing. And so it becomes important to enter interactions with some flexibility. Allow yourself to be discerning and to try to determine, based on this interaction and the person I'm interacting with, which style would be most fruitful in what we're doing right now. I think we can all benefit from that. So I encourage every single person here to consider it and become a bit more intentional about just having better interactions with people. Thank you.
Thank you, Kola. Thank you for visiting us. And such an informative talk. You've got my mind going, because when you started off, I could just hear my husband and see his eyes rolling. Thank you. That was great. We now go on to our fourth speaker of the evening, and our evaluator is our one and only wonderful Gabrielle, and she is going to be evaluating Roger Major. I haven't had the fortune of meeting Roger, so I'm excited to be hearing him speak tonight. Welcome.
Dear Libby, Toastmaster, good evening, and to all our members and guests. The purpose of Roger's project is to practice the skills needed to address difficult audiences and challenges through them when you are presenting outside of our club, and it might well happen a lot of times. And you have to be very resilient, dear Roger, because you are facing some problems. Roger could write a new speech, or he could use the speech he had presented last time and got an evaluation by Verity, from which on he had learned, and he is giving now a new speech, and he will be evaluated on the way he manages the audience disruptions, not the content of the speech. So there's a big difference. His speech title is A Food Critic's Guide to Global Cuisine. He is on level 4, as well as strategic relationships. And I would like to welcome Roger with his speech, A Food Critic's Guide to Global Cuisine. Roger?
Thank you, Gabrielle. Is it Gabrielle or Gabriella?
No, it's Gabrielle.
Gabrielle. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, a food critic's guide to global cuisine. Okay, let's start in South Africa. Now, it's the simple things that we have on the menu, which I do have a problem. Let's start with chips. Why do they always cover the chips with this red spice, which doesn't look appetizing? And for me personally, I hate it. I call over the manager. Manager, why do they do this? Look, my chips are covered in red spice. All you have to do, Mr. Major, is say, no, you don't want red spice. I do that no matter how many times I do it. They still put red spice in it because they're obsessed with the red spice. It's like you tell them, and it goes through there, in there, and out there. No, they're not interested. Well, they just forget about that. They're only interested in putting on red spice. Okay, what about? Oh, then I discovered pap when I came in. Just the name alone, it's not very appetizing. That name doesn't make me say, oh, I'd like some pap. You know, when you go into a restaurant, is it any wonder why it's never on the menu? I don't know. I've never tasted it, but I've never wanted to because the name itself puts me off. And another simple thing like pickled onions. I love pickled onions. But when you go to the store and a delicatessen or wherever and buy a bottle of pickled onions, why do they always have to put a chili in there? Chilies. Why do they put chilies in the pickled onions? I get them, I buy them, I take them home, open the top, take out a pickled onion. All you taste in the pickled onion is chili. And I hate chilies. Why can't they just sell the chilies separately? I said, I've had enough of this. I'm off. So I go on my travels. I go to France. Hey, it's France. Am I boring people or what? I'm wondering if I'm boring people. I land in France. Now, you would expect them to have great cuisine. And it seems their most famous dish is frog's legs. I mean, you know, a civilized first world country like France, and then one of their main meals is frog's legs. I said, no way, Jose. I'm soon off. And I find myself in Scotland. I look at the menu in Scotland and haggis. Another terrible, unappetizing name. But, you know.
Sorry, what is haggis?
Haggis?
Yes, what is it?
What is haggis?
That's what I said.
Yes, what is it? What is haggis?
Well, I said to the waiter, what is haggis? He said, well, it's a sheep's heart. Sheep's heart. I said, no way, Jose. I'm not eating that. So I go down to England, looked at the menu, and you know what? I couldn't find anything wrong with the English menu. No, seriously. It's all so nice. No, and it's also nice names, not horrible names like haggis or frog's legs, pap, that make you feel like nauseous. It's nice names like shepherd's pie, cottage pie. It's. I'm feeling hungry already. Excuse me. And then, they're such nice meals. Like, what about what's that one in the Cornish pasty? Hey, hello.
We're talking about pies. What about other cuisines?
Well, I'm coming to them.
Yeah, don't you like porridge, for example? Yeah.
That was in Scotland. I'm doing it. You're preempting me. And who has the most famous breakfast in the world? The English. Right? English breakfast. You get it anywhere in the world because it's the best and it's most popular. And the English breakfast has black pudding. Unlike here, they serve an English breakfast with chips. You don't get chips on an English breakfast. That's wrong. They don't put black pudding. No, they don't. And what about the famous in England,
Steve.
What's going on here? Am I that boring? Excuse me. You see, you've spoiled my train of thought. The what else they're famous for is the Sunday roast with Yorkshire pudding. Oh. True, you might say you can get Yorkshire pudding here. I've been eating Yorkshire pudding here for 25 years. It's not the same. It's not as good. Cornish pasties, wonderful. Oh, I'm starving. Did I tell you that English food is better than sex? Any more? Oh. Oh, let's not forget the pork pie. You cannot get pork pies here. Like, oh, why don't they? Why not? Because they know they're not as good as them. And the famous sausage.
But you can get pork pies here. I've had them before.
But they're not as good as them.
Oh, but you can. You just said that you can't.
All right,
You
all right. You can get pork sausages here.
You said pork pies. I've eaten a pork pie here.
Yeah, so have I.
But then why did you tell me that?
They're not as good. You can get what's it called? You can get the Yorkshire puddings here, but they're not as good. Honestly, they're not as good as the English ones. Oh, well, if you go to England, that's where they.
English.
Sorry. Sorry.
Are you English? You seem to like the English.
Well, I'm not biased, but seriously. It's a coincidence, you know, that I'm English and the best foods just seem to come from there. Oh, doesn't it? Well, I can't have that. Not my fault. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, you can get a pickled onion, and it doesn't taste like a chili. Like here. Now, yeah, the pies with the gelatin inside. Do they have gelatin inside the pork pies here? You'll have to tell me where those pork pies are here.
I'll tell you where they are.
You know, not like the frogs. No, there's so many different foods. You get the Lancashire hot pot. So great. Years ago, a woman in England asked me for sex, and I said, I'd rather have a pork pie. And that was the end of that. How are you now for time?
8.5 minutes.
And that's the end. Sorry, because I've gone over time. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Roger. How wonderful to end off our 4 speakers with such an entertaining speech. I loved your humor, and I could totally relate to some of those dishes that you were talking about. But black pudding, that left me stone cold, I'm afraid. Thank you very much. I would now like to call on our times. So I'd like to call Maria to come forward to give us the timekeeper's report, please.
I'm not sure if I need to introduce myself again.
No.
No? Okay.
Just give it.
Prepared speeches tonight. Emilia Zinga. The time requirement was 7 minutes. Your time was 7 minutes 15, so just over. Talisha Moodley, speech time requirement was 7 minutes. Your time was 7:07, so just a few seconds over. Zola Naye, 7 minute time requirement. Your time was 5 minutes 47. And Roger Major, you had a 20 minutes time requirement. Your actual time was 8 minutes 33. Thanks.
Thank you, Maria. It's now that exciting time of the evening where we get to vote for the best speaker. So I'm going to ask.
Libby, sorry, do you mind if we please do it all at the end? We'll do best speaker, evaluator, and table topics.
All right, fine. Sorry, I was just following my notes here. So that's going to bring us to our interval. And as the school teacher, I have some homework for you all to do while you are having your dinner, and we can do it online in our little breakout room. Seeing we've got this wonderful theme of a turning point. I'd like you to think of a turning point that was a very big challenge for you. And during your breakout, I'd like you to find one person that you chat to and share what that turning point was and how it has turned out for you and any advice that you can give each other. I think there's so much learning in, we have these lovely topics, but if we actually can talk about them in a little bit more detail, there might be some fun in that. So we will come back. It's 19:27. What time will we get back together, Justine?
Let's do 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. All right. Thank you. And you'll sort out the breakout room for us that are online.
Opening them now. Thanks, Libby.
So enjoy.
Sorry.
Welcome back, everybody. Hope you had a lovely meal. We're very grateful to the hotel for always serving us such nice food. So we'll continue our evening and let's hand over to Madam Toastmaster. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. I hope everybody had a good dinner. We had an amazing chat in our breakout. So I hope you managed to talk about some of your turning points and learned a little bit more about each other, which was really nice to hear the stories that we all shared. We are now going to be moving on to our very exciting part of the evening. And this is where we need our resilience and our courage, because it's now time to introduce our table topics master, who is Quentin. Quentin, can you please tell us about what impromptu speeches you have lined up for us this evening?
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters and guests, and online as well. So now we've reached the point of the table topics for the evening. So table topics is a very interesting time, or it's a very interesting format. Essentially, we look at a different approach. Instead of doing prepared speeches, we ask the participants to try and think on their feet. So I've prepared a couple of questions, and you will have 2 minutes to just answer and speak and tell what comes through your mind. And that's a very good way to prepare for a lot of the communications that we do on a day-to-day basis, where we might bump into a colleague, director or friend, and we're not necessarily prepared to react, and that really helps us to think on the spot. So the theme for the evening is turning points, which, as the Toastmaster explained, that it's a change, essentially a shift in or an event that causes a shift and causes things to change forever. Not a great paraphrasing, I'm afraid. But essentially, what I was reflecting on that, I was thinking about the different types of turning points that exist. And there are some that are kind of external, and the world or the environment is going to change. and you're going to be pushed to make a decision, a choice, or to adapt. And I've labeled these kind of the crossroads. Then I've got another category, which is more of inner changes, something that comes through realization, decision. You might start, picking up new habits, or you get a new perspective that might come from either success or failure. And the last type of turning points is actually not a personal one, I would say, or not a personal one. It's something from the big world at large. That might be turning points in society, in cultures, organization, and so on. So as I was reflecting on that, I've actually tried to prepare questions across all of these. And I will invite the speaker coming up to choose one category. And then in each category, you'll be able to choose kind of a level. You could have the kind of a light question, which is like fairly, approachable, easygoing. Then you would have some more reflective questions, as well as some what if or imaginative scenarios where you can have a little bit more fun as well. So yeah, and then for the guest tonight, or if you don't want to share too much about your personal, if you're comfortable sharing personal life, you're welcome to choose some of the broader world topics, the currents essentially, I'm going to call them. So I've got a few people that have indicated they want to participate. There's quite a few for tonight. So I might start with a few members first. So I think Philip, can I call you up for a start? To break the ice in the room.
Gonna have to remind me of the
yeah, no, sure. Yeah.
the categories.
Okay, so on the categories, I've got crossroads, which is essentially the world around you changes and you have to adapt. I have the shifts, which is your inner change, where you see the world differently or you come to a realization. And then finally, currents, which is just about the broader world changing around you.
Let's do the second one.
Second one? Okay.
Shifts.
Perfect. Okay, and then are you up for light, reflective?
I will leave that up to you. You can judge me on how I look tonight and decide what I'm prepared for. Cool. I'm wearing slumps, by the way.
Okay, cool, perfect. Cool. So I think let's start with, can you tell us about something that you do now that would surprise your younger self?
Some things that I do now that would surprise my younger self. Something that I do now, and I try and do every day, is reflect inward. I try and take time to meditate, to calm my mind each morning before I approach the day. During that meditation, when I started, I felt like I needed to achieve a certain goal. I needed to have an outcome from the 7 minutes that I was doing every morning, which then progressed to 12 minutes, which then progressed to 15 minutes. But even at 15 minutes, I felt a frustration that there wasn't some sort of achievement at the end of this 15 minutes. But what I realized after a year of doing this is that the goal is in the practice. By the very nature of the meditation itself, of calming one's nervous system, of taking time and taking space for yourself, that is the ultimate goal. And after now, I'm at 21 minutes and I feel restored at the end of it. And taking time to relax for myself every morning is something that I would not have expected myself to be doing as a younger version of me.
That was a very interesting take, and I think it's something that we can all reflect on, how some habits can really change the way you see around and how you feel more comfortable in doing the practice and being more present in the moment, essentially. Okay, I've got a few more people. I don't know if one of the... Yeah, I've got Rochelle that is online, and then we can move on to a guest if they're willing. Rochelle, yes?
Hi, Quentin, how are you?
Good, and yourself?
Good, thanks. Could you go through the topics again? Sorry, I missed them all.
Yes, no problem. So it's essentially an external pivot. So something in the world has changed and forced you to adapt. You have inner changes where you personally have come to a realization or a new perspective. And then last, which is the turning points in a broader world outside of yourself.
All right, let's go for the third one.
Okay, and are you feeling up for light, reflective, or what if?
Anyone go for it. Let's go wild.
Okay, so let's go for a more playful one. So imagine a new tool appears tomorrow that gives everyone an extra hour of time every day. How do you think people will use it? And maybe how do you think people should use it?
Sorry, could you repeat that? Sorry, the beginning broke up.
Yes. Imagine a new tool appears tomorrow that gives everyone an extra hour in their day. How do you think people will use it? And how do you think people should use it? Whichever you're feeling for.
So a new tool that gives us an extra hour every day.
Magical, it doesn't matter what the tool is, to be honest. It's more like, let's say,
Okay. More that what
an
the extra hour. Okay, fantastic. So if we got an extra hour every day, I would personally think, I would use an extra hour a day to possibly train, to exercise, to be out in nature, do something outside. I feel like most of my days are spent inside working. I'm a bit of a workaholic. So if I had an extra hour every day and that hour was dedicated to you had to be outside and you had to be moving your body and doing something that got you outside and away from your desk, away from your computer, and just spending that quality time with yourself and allowing you to be free, to be outdoors, to have your feet on the ground, even with your shoes off running through the grass. I think that would be an important part of everyone's day, probably the most important. So that's what I would suggest people would use that extra hour for.
Cool, that's very good. Yeah, I think it's a very good very good answer. I think it speaks to what a lot of people want. It's really focusing more on yourself and prioritizing yourself, being more reflective and enjoy nature in that case, and being more active. Okay, so I've got a few guests or actually newly joined members as well. I don't know if anyone wants to, should I go through the names? Does anyone want to actually come up? Yes? Yes. Federica, welcome on stage. Yes. Okay, so again, you can choose on 3 categories. So either, yes, of course. Either external changes, so something that is the world has changed, or your environment has changed and you have to adapt, or an inner change, something that you come up with a new realization or a new perspective, or finally the world overall has changed and it's nothing to do with it. Number 2. And okay, are you up for something more reflective or more imaginative?
Reflective.
Reflective, yes. Okay. Describe a time when you said yes before you felt ready.
I feel like that's most of my life. Okay. I think that's a pattern that runs through my life. I act on impulse sometimes, although most of the time I'm quite careful and methodical, analytical and planned. But every now and again, I do something quite impulsive. I do say yes, and then I think, oh my God, what have I done? And I've been doing this since I was a young adult. When I was about 17 and I was applying to go to university, I stumbled on this amazing scheme called the Erasmus scheme.
which allowed British students to do an extra year at university at a university in another European country. And I thought, oh, cool, that looks great. And I chose to do a physics degree with French. When it came time to choose where to go, I thought, well, I don't want to go to Paris because that's where everybody goes. I'll go to Marseille. So I had this plan. That's what I was going to do. As I was driving to university with my dad in a little car from London to Brighton, I suddenly thought, oh my God, what have I done? And the whole of that 50-mile drive, I just prayed for an accident. Just long enough to put me in hospital to get me out of the picture. Needless to say, we didn't have the accident. I did go to university. I did complete my degree. And it was fantastic. Yeah. But I didn't learn. And still today, I find myself saying yes and then thinking, oh my God, what have I done? And end up in places like this.
Yeah, I can definitely identify with that. Please be there an accident on the way. Okay, anyone else here wants to, or maybe online? I've got a few more people that signed up. They're cool, no? There are some easier questions as well, don't worry. Eugene, yes? Okay, cool. Welcome to come. Okay, so you add options of an external pivot, also an external turning point, something from the environment forced you to choose or adapt. Something more internal, which is where you have reached the perspective or a decision, and then finally just the world changes. World changes, okay. And are you feeling for something light, reflective? Your choice. Okay. Good one. Describe something that was perfectly normal when you were younger, but feels strange now. Okay, so I'm going to go for something a bit more reflective then. Tell us about a company, a movement, an organization, anything, maybe someone's famous that has made a bold pivot, and what can we learn from them?
I think one of the, so that would mostly be about me, about the pivot that I did. I think as I'm approaching a year ago, last year, I left my job that I was in for 3 years. And it was such a weird decision to leave because everything was going well. I got along well with everyone and the company was good. I was doing well. I was doing well in the company. But then I got a new opportunity that was a bit scary and it felt like a big leap to take. And so I was very doubtful whether I could do the job. And it did take a while for me to adjust to be able to do it. But then it's a decision that I'm glad I made because it's been very rewarding. I've learned a lot. And just, well, when I look back now from the direction of travel, of how things are quickly evolving in terms of talking about things going on in the world with AI and stuff like that, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to learn as much as I am in my new role as I would have in the old role. And so I'm just reflecting a year on and being really proud of myself for having made a decision. As tough as it was, or as scary as it was to make the leap, I'm glad I did. Well done. Thanks.
Yeah, I think that's a very good, very, very kind for you to share that, because sometimes we see the big decisions, the scary, we don't want to look at the monster under the bed, but when we realize that we actually go and have a look. It's not that bad. And yes, sometimes it's tough, but eventually you will get better for it. Okay, I've got a few more people on here. I don't know if anyone, or should we call it a night? No, see anyone online?
Options have you got left?
Sorry, the questions. Actually, we can do it that way as well. Okay, let's. Okay, so one that is, I think, quite interesting is tell us about a time when saying yes led to something unexpected.
What? Say yes, what?
Tell us about a time when saying yes led to something unexpected. Or something good.
Is that it?
Don't give the answer and the question.
Go for it.
Yes, yeah, sure, yeah, go for it. Okay, do you want to pick that one or another one? Another one? Okay.
What were the options again?
Okay, so yes, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, so let's get, so first one is an external, so something in your environment has changed and forced you to choose or to adapt.
Let's go now.
Yes, okay, cool. Okay, do you want to choose if it's light or reflective? So tell us about a small decision, like starting a new habit or joining a group, that led to something bigger.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think all of us here probably remember where we were when Cyril Ramaphosa announced that we were going into lockdown. I've never actually lived on my own before. I think I was telling you that I'm one of 6. So I've always been part of a really, really big family. And for the first time in my life, I had to move into like a new place, living alone. And because we were heading into lockdown, there wasn't like a lot. I wasn't going into the office as much. So believe it or not, I put on 15 kilograms. You can't see by looking at me now. One small decision that I made was just taking better care of my body, watching what I put in it, making sure that I move. And what that has actually resulted in is that I feel more confident, a lot better about my body. I don't get sick as often. I know I'm sick right now, but I don't get sick as much anymore. And whenever I look at old people that are running marathons, like they are married, I think to myself, you know what, one day I want to be, one of those people that can still have full mobility, at an older age. Because at the end of the day, you only get one body, you can't trade it in and get a newer one. And it was really just that one decision that has had so many other positive consequences. For me, just mentally, I sleep a whole lot better now. Used to have insomnia growing up. Now because I'm so tired after gym, I sleep like a baby.
Thanks for sharing. I think it's a banana bread during lockdown. Oh. Okay, I think that's all we have time for. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yeah. So I have enough questions, so don't worry. It's not gonna run out.
Sorry, can we just ask that the speaker stands close to the mic because we're battling a bit with sound. Thanks.
Yes. Okay, so you said option 1. Do you want something light, reflective, or light is good? Okay, good. Okay, so that was the one that I said earlier. So tell us about a time when saying yes led to something unexpected. What do you want to? Can I find another one? Yes. Tell us about someone who made the path easier for you. And that can be someone you know, public figure, fictional character.
Okay, so I have a friend who always feels as though she's a few steps ahead of me in her just general life and her business journey. She was someone who was instrumental in helping me decide to leave full-time work and be an entrepreneur. I've always admired her because she is quite intentional in how she lives her life. She does work that is true to her values and plays to her strengths. And I think I also just was inspired by the way she carries herself and how she applies herself to new situations. She's someone who's still a friend with me now. I mean, someone who I'm still friends with now. And interestingly, we have both returned from an entrepreneurial journey to full-time work in the last year and a half to 2 years. And so even in the movements that we've had in our work careers, she somehow manages to stay ahead of me by 6 months to a year in whether she's an entrepreneur or someone doing a few jobs or someone who's now working full-time for a local business. And so I really enjoy people who are a few steps ahead of me because I just learn from them. I enjoy people who are good leaders, and as I was read out earlier, I love growing. And so I look to people as almost examples of how I can live my life, and then I do my best to chat to them, find out what they're doing, and do that myself.
Yeah, I've got a few more names here. I don't know if anyone wants to come up. I think I had Faith. Do you want to come up or do you want to skip it? It's totally up to you. Oh, congratulations.
That was hiding behind my robe today.
Thanks for coming up. So,
Okay.
So you might remember the categories. The first one is external pivots. So the world around you forced you to adapt or to choose. Something more inner, more of an inner change. Where
Let's stop right there. The first one.
The first one? Okay, cool. Okay. Describe a time when a door closed, but it led to something better.
I've been working since 2000 when we called it Millennium. And from that time to date, I've only been unfairly dismissed once, or qualified or dismissed. But I think when the door closed, I was not prepared for because I was the highest sales agent for Mini in the car industry. But when the door closed, because I'm also the brand Mini is like, it personalizes me. So I thought my world was closing in, was closing, but it opened many doors for me because that's a time where I recognized that there's more to me, and there was this yearning and hunger I had on the inside of me. And it led me to leave my hometown, Durban, and literally move to Johannesburg. And I think that was the best decision for me because had I not been in Johannesburg, I think I wouldn't even be here. So that door closing, sometimes you say, there's a saying that says the devil will push you to a corner, but it doesn't know that it's actually pushing you towards your blessing. So that's how it has been for me.
Cool. Thanks for that. Okay, how are we doing for time? I think it's good. Yeah, cool. Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing.
Thank you, Quentin. What amazing table topics. Wow, that was really so interesting. I would now like to call on Maria, who is our timekeeper, to give us the table topics time report for the speakers. Thank you, Maria.
Philip, your time was 1 minute 17, so you're in time. Rochelle, you were 1 minute 3 seconds, so you were within time. Tamar, you were 1 minute 30 seconds, so you were in time. Eugene, 1 minute 33, so you were in time. Prissy, 1 minute 28 seconds, so that was within time. I was 1 minute 28 as well, so I was also in time. And then Faith, you were 1 minute 17 seconds, so you were within time.
Thank you, Maria, and hats off to you for doing being the timekeeper and volunteering to participate. Just so the level of this club is, as Justine and Gabrielle has said, is just very, very exciting. Thank you, everybody. And now we move on to the next area of our club, which we know we are also very strong in our evaluators. So I would like to call on our first evaluator for this evening, and that is Michaela.
Thanks so much, Libby. I actually don't know where Amelia is in the room. If the camera could maybe slightly move to her, I think it'll be a bit more personal than me talking to my face at the moment. There you are. Okay, cool, Amelia. Wow. Firstly, well done. Since you've honestly started Toastmasters, you've just become more resilient in finding your way and forging your way in Toastmasters through different roles and now almost finishing level 1. So well done, because you definitely have found a way to command the room. I remember when you first started, although you were a confident speaker from the beginning, you definitely had a little bit more of a quieter tone, and now you're owning your space and you're telling your stories and you're so conversational in the way you speak. It just really helps people listen with intent because it's warm and it's welcoming, and it's always just nice to learn about your story because you do have humor in you, and that must be used to your superpowers. So there were just moments where you would maybe say something but didn't let it land. So just like let that moment land. For example, when your son came in and very imaginative and descriptive words, and he had his coat on and he was like a little scientist, and then he started speaking like really mumbling and stuff. I thought that was brilliant because we've all been there when you think the most confident child is going to do leaps and bounds and then stands in front of you and then you can't even hear, or they become a different child. So I just could see that picture, especially everyone sitting around the dining hall. I mean, also when you were in the church, when different people were speaking to you, I think maybe instead of trying to remember who's sitting left or who's sitting right, you can use the space a bit more to actually move into that direction. But then it also becomes a bit challenging because with body gestures, you don't always want to move your body so much. So I think that's always a tricky thing, is body gestures are also controlled movements. So you were pacing a little bit, and I think that's because from what I remember, you have sometimes had speech cards, and this time you brought up your phone and you didn't look down once. So that was really well done. So you know what you're speaking about. It's more just how do you control control the moment, hold your pace, hold your space. And you were really good at vocal variety. Like I said, you have brought volumes to your voice, but at the same time, you're maybe just pacing a little because sometimes nerves just does that, and you want to get your story out into the air, and then it's done, and then towards the end, you brought your whole speech, and the story was landing, and then all of a sudden, you just left. So maybe just hold that a bit more, and maybe tell one side of your story on one side of the room. And then to the other side, when the child comes, your son and everything, maybe you're on the other side, and then you center back in the middle. And maybe it would have been nice to hear what maybe you taught your child about public speaking and how he could have bring that confidence in, because that would just wrap your story up. But overall, I think you did really well, and it's really cool to see you just be more resilient. Thank you so much, Amelia.
Thank you, Michaela.
Thank you, Michaela. Our next evaluator is Anna, and she is going to be evaluating Talisha on her inside out, leading from within speech.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Talisha, what an interesting topic. You really captivated our attention, and you took us on a little journey. First of all, you also connected with your audience by referring to Gabriella and Justine, and we could feel or understand the support and encouragement that you were referring to. And then you also spoke about your dad. So you took us on a journey, a personal journey, and you told us about his talent and being a natural storyteller. We understood your resilience, and the way, the words that you also said, you've got this compass to navigate. So I like those metaphors that you used. And also, like you said, your dad commanded the room. You were very calm and also authentic, and it's so nice listening to you. You also paused in between, so we could imagine the different situations that you had been put into with your dad and then at work. And I must say, and I think we should all be reading that book of Stephen Bartlett about the 4 pillars. I'm definitely going to get the book. It was very inspiring how you talked us through this book, and that actually working on yourself is what's most important. Areas to improve, maybe the volume, your voice was a bit soft, but you're so calm, so that's also very nice. But maybe to speak up, maybe use more vocal variety, I would suggest. And in summary, it was so inspiring. You've really built resilience. And what was very nice in your closing was that you also said to your audience, or you grabbed the attention of the audience to, if you think you're a bit too quiet, or just you are a work in progress, and you've got to just embrace being different. So thank you so much for such an inspiring talk this evening.
Thank you, Anna. Our third evaluator is Rochelle. Speech, the easiest way to misunderstand. Thank you, Rochelle.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster. Okay, so Kola, sorry. What a fantastic speech. When I spoke to you this morning, you said you were nervous, and you did such a fantastic job with your speech, and you were so calm. And yes, you just did such a wonderful job. So well done on that. Your speech definitely makes you think about what your communication style is. I'm still trying to figure out what mine is. I tend to talk a lot, but I also probably need to start listening a lot more. But it definitely gets your brain thinking and thinking about how we communicate with others, because communication obviously helps with our relationships, and they are so important. So it's definitely something to delve into. So thank you for starting the conversation. Your speech was humorous and real, and you made it so relatable by bringing in, the 30 seconds game. It can be such a hectic game where everyone gets involved, and, everyone's describing things, and it's funny. And then you get that one person who always just takes it too far and always makes it serious. And we all have that one person in our family or in our friends group, and you just calm down. So you definitely made that relatable, and you brought it to the room, which was really great. I absolutely love how you compliment yourself. You said things that how much you appreciate your own qualities and being a supportive communicator. There was also something else that you mentioned, that you're so appreciative, and I found that such a beautiful quality to have. We're so critical of ourselves, and we always criticize everything that's wrong with us. We never really look at ourselves and compliment ourselves. So I think that's such a stunning quality to have. So thank you for bringing that. I think it's definitely something I'm going to start doing, when I'm getting dressed in the morning. So when I get dressed, I'm going to be like, you got taste, Rochelle. And, I'm going to appreciate your taste. So that was really, really nice. So well done on that. Just a few pointers, if I can give you any. I know it's very difficult to kind of get your body onto the screen, especially when you're online. It's a lot harder to kind of move around and stuff. But maybe next time try and stand and move the computer away and kind of hold that space and own that space, because it's you're being communicative, if that's such a word. It's quite a big thing you're trying to explain, and there's so many different ways you could use your body to express yourself, and you just have such a stunning smile, and your energy and your presence, I think, could come across a little bit better. But other than that, I think it was a phenomenal speech, and well done on joining another Toastmasters meeting. Everyone's new faces can be really daunting and scary, but you were brave and you were resilient, so well done.
Thank you, Rochelle. Our fourth evaluator is Gabrielle, who's going to be evaluating Roger on a food critic's guide to global cuisine. Gabrielle.
Thank you, Madame Toastmaster. Roger, smile. Roger, I would like to first point out that Eugene helped me. We did it together because there are so many points to look into, those different interrupters, that it's nice to have companionship. So I would like to thank you as well. Roger, as always, you have interesting and humorous speeches. And your explanation of the global cuisine with special attention to English cuisine was really refreshing. But that is not what I'm here for, to bring over to you. I need to focus with you, or we need to focus with you more of the task of the speech. And that was purposefully to place people, and I would like to thank everybody into this room who were there to really interrupt you. And I think they were quite kind as well. We admired your composure at the beginning when the electronic device enthusiast, Eugene, hammered on his PC. And you even found some smiles, and you simply ignored him. That was quite good. But then comes a point, like with children, when they go too far, they clap. And later, when he got really insistent with his movements and noises, etc., instead of feeling personally offended and boring, and let me tell you in brackets, you are never boring, Roger. You are wonderful. You are entertaining, but this is not what, what we are looking for. We're looking for you for the club. And so you felt personally a little bit offended. Am I boring? That was not the question. You, because he didn't pay enough attention, it's his problem, not your problem. You could have avoided the situation by setting boundaries right from the beginning. And I think in your profession, it is like that. You say to people, if you need it, if you should need it, keep your telephone on, because maybe you want to vote for something or so. But otherwise, for your speech, there was no reason for somebody come with a PC and hammer like an idiot on it, and instead of listening to you, because you had really so much to say. So put boundaries up and tell the people from the beginning, you don't need any electrical devices. And if you should, and it's really important, please go outside and sort it out there. And that is what you do at the beginning. And then if it should happen while you are so far in your talk already, then you can point out to the whole room that, please, can I say in this moment to everybody, please do not use any PCs or other devices, because it disrupts me. Then you have not spoken to him personally, you spoke to the whole room. So it's not offensive unless you want to really clap him. So you don't single the enthusiast out. Then we come to the arguer, Philip. You were very good. I don't know, do you play tennis as well? Because you bantered well. You kept it humorous by telling him that you were not biased. And then you counteracted with comparisons. You didn't let him go very far. You had already some comparisons there, and you distracted. You didn't distract it. And you were not distracted by him. You just insisted on your point. Sometimes insisting on your point can be oh God, sorry, I don't know the word. Can be. It's for the others. If somebody doesn't listen to your point and just carries on, you say, oh my, he should have listened to what he said. It was important. But in this way, it was not important because the arguer just want to talk. And you just insisted on your point and carried on. Well done. And then we come to Kwame, the talker. You were actually meant to recognize his contribution and saying, thank you, Kwame, for your contribution, but let's hear the opinion of someone else as well. Yeah. So you would have opened again the floor to everybody. And that is an inclusive invitation to the room, which is necessary as well, because you want to keep a rapport with everybody. So you want to become one with your entourage. Then Quentin, with his asking what is a sheep's heart, yeah? And you could have, with your humor, you could have said, very good question, because, what a question, what is sheep's heart? Yeah? Very good question, but please would you write it down? We'll come back to that later with some other questions in the audience. Done, elegantly, gone. You did make good eye contact with every interrupter. And coming back to the arguer, next time with the arguer, use the strategy of humor with assertiveness for the other types of difficult audiences, so that we just put it there to end. Now, dear Roger, the areas of growth and some recommendation would be to take your presentation to the next level when facing difficult crowds. Consider these two strategies we have got here for you. The one is called the parking lot technique. When a difficult audience member brings up a distracting tangent by establishing a parking lot, just say, that is a fantastic point, and I want to give it some attention it deserves. Let's put that in the parking lot and address it during our question and answer at the end, elegantly put to the side. And body language, I would recommend, or we would recommend as well, next time, step forward towards the interrupter slightly to command their focus. Or use open, welcoming body language to soften the tension. And in conclusion, we want to tell you, you are never boring. Let me repeat that. Please keep that in mind. It's wonderful. Overall, your ability to respond to challenging audience members with humor and punchy responses is very refreshing. Yet, we suggest to challenge yourself in looking into more masterfully handling the different types of difficult audiences. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gabrielle. Wow, we were treated to a masterclass with those 4 evaluations, weren't we? Thank you to every single one of you. It's now time for to call Maria, who is going to give us the report time of the evaluators. Thank you, Maria.
Hey, Michaela, your time was 3 minutes, 3 seconds. You were just a little bit over time. Anna, your time was 2 minutes, 54, so you were within time. Rochelle, you were 3 minutes, 2 seconds. You were a fraction of time, if we really want to split hairs. And Gabrielle, you were 7 minutes, 10 seconds, but there was a lot to say, so we understand. You were a little bit over time.
Thank you, Maria. And now we come to the very exciting time of the evening, where we get to vote for the best speaker, evaluator, and table topics. So please get out your phones and take a screenshot of the QR code. I hope that to do that. And we are now going to call on Helande to give us the counter report. Thank you, Helande.
Thank you, Madam Toastmasters. Today, it was not easy because I struggled with the quality of sound, but even so, I've got some notes. But before I go, I'd like to emphasize that two aspects. The first one is that this role is because helps people to improve. It's not for nitpick. The second one is that it's not just an or and so, but those that are ugly or repeated unnecessary. So I'd like to congratulate everyone who speaks today because you were amazing, very good. But I have some notes and I'd like to share with you. For Emilia, I have 5 saws. 5 saw. For Rochelle, I have 2 arms. Roger, 3 arms. Quentin, I have 3 arms, 3 saws. And I'm sorry for the last 2 girls who were in the tabletop topics. I can't get her names, but I have 2 arms and 3 saws. And for the last girl, I have 2 saws. Madam Toastmaster, that's the notes.
Thank you, Helande. Good job. Very serious. Appreciate that. Now, grammarian's report. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmasters. So I'm just going to be giving a report back on the grammarian feedback. Thank you so much, each and every person, speakers in the room and online that have used the word of the day, resilient. So I'll be giving feedback on that and also some of the words that stood out for me in some of the topics or storytelling that we heard today. So Amelia used the word resilient twice. Gabrielle once. Talisha used the word once as well. Michaela used resilient twice. Libya, our Toastmaster, used the word once. Anna also used the word twice. And then Rochelle once. Then when it comes to the different topics or words or saying that I liked, Talisha used the word wheels in my head. I thought that was interesting. Another one, how she describes her dad as bees moves to honey. And then how that he's an influencer. People just gravitate around him. And then another one was campus of mastering our choices. And then Amelia used the word, I think it was more than once, twice, exhilarated, and also melodocious. Did I say it right? And then Tola, she used a very interesting word, beef she has with other communication styles. And then the last one was from Tola as well, speaking using your chest. That was a very interesting choice of words when it comes to communication. So that is me signing off. Thank you.
Thank you, Faith. That was marvelous. So nice to be reminded about all these beautiful words that we heard during the session today. We are now going to, am I correct in that we are having our presentation? Not yet. I'm going to close the meeting and then Justine is going to speak. So thank you very much I have so enjoyed being the Toastmaster today. I won't hide behind my screen. It was a turning point for me to show up and be big and bold, and put my big brookies on, as they said in the old days. I love the quote from Brené Brown, who says that courage starts with showing up and letting ourselves be seen. And I think that's what we all do as speakers at ToastEd. We've all come to a stage in our lives where there's been a turning point that has brought us to this club for one reason or the other. A big one, a small one, a little murmur, a nudge that we want to improve. Because what would life be like if we just sat on the couch and didn't want to get better? Because speaking, I honestly believe, in my experience, when we learn to communicate, and it came out today in, I think it was Talisha and Amelia that mentioned what speaking had done for them. And we only see that courage starting to show up when we go through those turning points, we go through that vulnerability, and we're able to look back and think, sure, that's actually been amazing, what I have learned. So I would like to support you and thank you, and let's continue to face these turning points with courage, with resilience, and supporting each other, and most of all, supporting our EXCO. Thank you. Over to Justine.
Thank you so much, Libby. That was amazing. Even though you were online, I think we all felt your love and your care through the camera and on the screen. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for you to take on this role, because, as you said, it's quite a daunting one for a lot of people to stand here and be the MC and hold space, or be on the screen and hold space. And you did it so beautifully. So thank you so much, Libby. Amazing. And to all of our role players and our speakers, thank you to each and every one of you, especially for the lastminute.com people who had to quickly stand in and interrupt Roger. Thank you. It was great. It was very entertaining. And I think we all enjoyed it. I'm sorry if online you didn't get quite what was happening. I said to Gabrielle, we should have actually had someone online, because that would have thrown everything over. Maybe next time. But thank you so much to everybody for taking on the roles and for just making tonight a huge success, as it always is. And as Libby said, in supporting the EXCO, I'm not going to stand here and be a stuck record, but one way in which you can all support the EXCO is to sign up and help us and give us fresh ideas and bring your new energy and light into our EXCO. And I know it's going to be amazing. So yay, I can't wait for all of you to join. Don't all shout at once. And then our next meeting is going to be on the 7th of July. I'm waiting for the venue to just confirm that for me, but please save the date, 7th of July. I actually don't have a theme yet. So what I'm thinking is whoever wants to be Toastmaster next can think up a theme, and we will follow your theme, and then you can go from there. So the floor is yours, and here is your stage. So we look forward to seeing everybody shine on the stage next time. And I want to just quickly check in with all of our guests. I'm going to start with Tolo online. How was the evening with us online this evening? Because your club meets in person, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, how was it for you online and dealing with this hybrid sort of space?
It was quite interesting. I actually wasn't sure how it would go, but I think it was really interesting. I think even though I'm online, I didn't feel like I'm watching a Toastmasters session. I felt fully part of it every step of the way, which is, I guess, part of a concern I've had with online meetings. So I really appreciate that. I'm not sure which part it is that you guys do, but I think you guys do that so well. So it felt good. It was a little intimidating. I thought I was gonna log on and there'd be like 3 people. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a lot of people. But I honestly had a really good time.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us, and all the best for future speeches.
Thank you.
And I think we must come visit your club. I actually haven't come to your club yet, so I will
Yes,
make
please.
a plan. Yeah, come and visit. Talisha, please do mind being my Zoom master. Just going to mute myself on this side.
Okay, yes. Hi, ladies. You're sitting here together.
Yes, we are.
Keeping each other safe. How was the evening, Marika?
So I enjoyed it very much. I was online last
Yes.
time, and it was nice to come in person this time. I'm definitely more of an in-person kind of, person.
Yeah.
I think that goes for everybody. Is that way? It's always easier when you can read the room and you can see
Yeah.
people and make eye contact. But I do like the fact that it is hybrid. I'm enjoying the way that you do it, and I think there's a lot that can be learned, and that's something I want to learn. So I think this is attractive to me.
Amazing. And then maybe you can even teach us some things about this hybrid story, because we're constantly learning and changing and
Well, I
having
think
to
you're doing a
figure it
great
out.
job.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
No, thank you for having me.
Pleasure. And Tamar, congratulations on your table topic. It was great. How was your second night with us?
I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed how different it was to last month.
Okay.
From the evaluators' feedback, really interesting. I felt like I learned quite a lot from listening to their critique and their observations about the speeches.
Yeah.
Which kind of go on what I've been seeing and observing. So I really enjoyed that.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, the observation, the evaluations they're really interesting because there's always something someone says that is quite a nice takeaway. Great. Well, thank you both for being with us this evening. And that's everybody. Hey. Okay, I'm coming back to the other side. Thanks, Talisha.
Okay, I'm back. Thank you to our guests again for being with us this evening. And it's actually such a lovely surprise tonight because we've got a lot of members in person and online and only 2 guests. Whereas I think last month we actually had more guests than members. So yay, let's just keep showing up. We're converting them. That's very true. Our conversion rate is very high. Okay, it is now awards time. So I'm sorry, I just quickly need to get this. Wow. Zoom automatically quit or something. Let's try again. Is our internet having a struggle? Okay, awards time. And tonight, we actually have a special evening tonight because it was sliced down the middle for Table Topics winners. So tonight we get 2 winners. So the first winner for Table Topics, drum roll please, is Philip. Yeah. Congratulations. Let's bring your fellow winner up. And the next Table Topics winner is Tamar. Well done. Two of you. Well done. Congratulations. Can you take your photo?
You never have photos now. Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done.
Okay. Let's take the next one. Thank you. And then our best evaluator is going to be Gabrielle and Eugene.
It's an over-carried time, Ilya. Thank you to everybody. I hope it helps, Roger.
It's definitely helped everyone that has to do that speech. And I know, sorry, I must make you one too. So actually, that's the first time. It's Gabrielle and Eugene for evaluation, and then Philip and Tamar for table topics. But we can only have one best speaker. And our best speaker is... Wow. Oh, well, yeah. Everybody, thank you. Quickly smile.
And you can put the screen.
Everybody on the screen have a smile. Eugene's taking a photo of Eugene. Keep smiling, he's still taking it. Okay, great. Thanks. Thank you, everybody. Congratulations to our winners. That's all very exciting that you go home with a little prize. And I look forward to seeing all of you on the 7th of July. Same place, same time. And please, please, please sign up for roles for next meeting. Toastmaster, evaluator, if you want to do your icebreaker or your speeches. Exco. And the Exco. Because we actually have this month to fill the Exco, because as of July, so actually in our next meeting, you will be standing here as an Exco member and we'll sign you in. Okay. Please, please, please come speak to us. Everybody online, lots of love. Have a great week. And to everyone here, have a great evening and get home safely. And we'll see you next month.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Guys, bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Are you in Cape Town in July?
Yes.
See you then. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye then.
Bye. See you in real life.
Oh, nice meeting you.